Warning, if you're about to eat bananas, you need to watch this quick 3-minute video.
So this is episode 1 of YouTube Fitness Peer Review. It's about Mr. Thomas Delauer from SixPackAbs, and also he has his own channel, extremely huge following. And it has to be the bananas video. Now, I could have chosen a multitude of videos from this man, and I could have critiqued them. And of course, and does he make some decent videos with decent information? Of course he does. But there's an underlying theme, in my opinion, within his videos, which is highly marketable, but in my opinion, it is not the most applicable information to you. And so the purpose of these videos is to keep information in YouTube fitness honest and applicable to you. It is not to hate on anyone. So let's keep an open mind, and here we go.
The main reason why I don't advocate eating this fruit on a regular basis is because they contain super high sugar content and a moderate acidity level. In fact, a medium-sized banana packs nearly 30 grams of carbs, and almost 20 of which is sugar. This is comparable to eating a package of Reese's Cups, which weighs in at 20 grams of sugar and actually contains 4 grams less of carbohydrates.
He's just compared a banana to a chocolate. I can do that too. Let me try that too. And here are some other very useful comparisons for you. Banana microphone. Banana pen. Banana pen.
But I've heard that bananas have a lot of essential vitamins and minerals. Is that true?
Why are you asking him this question? He's just literally compared a banana to chocolate. Not in some sort of metaphorical sense. He's literally using a direct comparison between the two with no variables attached. Why are you asking him? My best advice to you is please walk away from the set. Please walk away for your own sake.
So there are far better ways to reap the valuable micronutrients from plant-based foods without all the unwanted sugar. In fact, my go-to for meeting my daily micronutrient needs is green detox.
Well, that was convenient.
And for those of you who want to learn more about my superfood drink mix formula, you can skip ahead and go straight to my website, getgreendetox.com, where I posted my free superfood video seminar.
And so this video was on his Facebook page. He also made a video on YouTube. He has many videos about his opinions on fruit, and he does actually label bananas as a bad food.
Okay, now the fruits you should avoid. Bananas. Don't believe all the hype.
And really he refers to the level of sugar in them, and he does differentiate by talking about fructose, and he also talks about GI as a point of reference. Now, GI is extremely limited when it comes to communicating those ideas to the mainstream fitness population. It's an idea that was really researched in athletic performance, but I will make a separate video about that.
Fructose is the sugar that is in fruit. And here's the thing, guys. It doesn't metabolize the same way that traditional glucose or traditional sugar does.
And so he talks about the idea that fructose is metabolized different to other sugars. Completely correct, Thomas. That is completely correct. But what he doesn't do, and which is ironic considering he talks about nutrient profile so much, is explain to you that fruits don't just contain fructose.
You see, when we consume regular carbohydrates, all the cells in our bodies can utilize that as a fuel source. However, with fructose, the sugar that comes from fruit, the only organ in the body that can utilize it is the liver. That means our muscles and all our other cells can't use fruit as an energy source.
They also contain glucose. And so this message that he communicates, that you eat these fruits and they're metabolized in the liver and they can't provide energy for the body, is not quite correct, is it, Thomas? Come on, between you and me, Thomas, no one else watching, you know that bananas contain glucose as well, don't you? You do, come on. For those of you who are his army, his legion, his supporters, and you're screaming at me now, you're going to leave your comments, please watch this next section with an open mind.
So let's talk about supplements versus the real whole food. Most nutritionists suggest that nothing is better than the real thing. So what makes the green detox supplement better than eating a banana, in your opinion?
Well, that's a very valid rebuttal.
That was not a rebuttal. Here's a rebuttal. When we look at science, we need to communicate ideas with balanced information and project these concepts as a contribution towards a knowledge base. Making these baseline conclusions, which don't look at the variables around a topic, can be extremely misleading. And so when we look at fructose and bananas, we should not view them as a good or bad food. We have to consider context, and context can be many things, such as nutrient timing. Where do you fall on the spectrum of training experience? Are you an elite athlete? Because I'm pretty sure I've seen some elite athletes eat bananas. Or are you the regular gym goer? And nutrient timing can be extremely complex. Other contexts could be something such as disease. It could be your caloric goals. Are you looking for a caloric surplus or negative energy balance? How does that banana fit into those daily caloric goals? How does that banana fit into your macronutrient goals, your nutrient timing, the intensity of your training? These are some issues concerning context. And then dosage dependence. Now let me explain something to you. Absolutely, abusing bananas could be negative for your health. And this is something that Thomas Delauer is not communicating to you correctly. It is dosage dependent. If you have a banana and you factored that into your caloric goals and in relation to your training and your macronutrient targets, it's completely fine. Let's stop this nonsense and this fear of fruit. Now, we do know that we can attribute hormones to lipolysis, this process of eating sugars which increase insulin, which can inhibit lipolysis. We know this. However, the actual significance of this is highly debated. There's lots of debate on both sides. Now, this video is not in relation specifically to that, but the idea that a banana is a bad food for you and that you need to avoid it is completely ridiculous. Much research into fructose and the negative health side effects were conducted on participants that look a little something like this. Now, I'm pretty sure, I think I can say this quite conclusively, you do not look like that, okay? So they were rodent trials. And indeed, we have research such as from Schwartz et al. 2009, which shows that the ingestion of fructose led to many negative health side effects, such as an increase in visceral fat and decrease in insulin sensitivity. So what I could do is project that information to you. But here is how you communicate science, Thomas Delauer. In that study in 2009, the participants were eating the equivalent of 6 to 7 non-diet soft drinks, which is absolutely crazy. It is dosage dependence. Of course, common sense would tell us that there are negative health side effects of consuming 7 soft drinks as a dosage. And so these are the sorts of limitations that people won't tell you. And actually, when we look at research, much of it is into rodent populations, and we have significant research which actually suggests that the ingestion of fructose and fruits can have anti-obesogenic effects. They can also contribute to the suppression of hunger, and therefore overall could contribute to a healthy diet in terms of losing fat. And so absolutely, the research into this is multifaceted, and it is absolutely not conclusive that fructose is bad for you. However, it is dosage dependent. How is that for a rebuttal?
Well, that's a very, very valid rebuttal.
Thank you. But what I can agree with him on is that we should look into the profile of the foods we eat, absolutely. But this is as far as it comes in terms of me and him agreeing on anything.
I encourage you to check out what the research says about the
glucose and fructose digestion, the anti-obesogenic impacts of fructose on obesity, restriction of glycemic control in diabetes patients.
I encourage you to check out what the research says about the top-ranked superfoods.
Serious question, Thomas. Do I buy these superfoods from Krypton? And if so, do they do same-day delivery?
Top-ranked superfoods.
So let's talk about supplements versus the real whole food. Most nutritionists suggest that nothing is better than the real thing.
Nobody who is truly passionate about these topics would use the words better than. We would say that, of course, a foods-first approach is extremely beneficial. However, there are situations where supplements can be useful for you. And this could be purely convenience. That's a factor. It could be you eat a specific diet due to allergies or illness, and therefore you struggle to get certain nutrients into your diet from certain food sources, and so you have to supplement. These are reasons that supplements could be introduced. And there are many, absolutely. Supplements have their use, and the food first approach I actually like. But the idea that most nutritionists say this is such a misleading statement. In fact, I can name a nutritionist, bachelor and master's degree in nutrition, Alan Aragon, who said he face planted when he watched your video.
And as most of us know, sugar is proven to be the #1 worst substance you can consume for your overall health. It's terrible.
And so he projects the idea that bananas are bad. He gives you completely incorrect rationale for why this is the case, and then he tries to sell you his green detox drink. I don't care that you're selling people green tea detox drink, Thomas. You can sell that to people. You can buy his green detox, but why do we have to sell it in this manner? Why can you not just make a video about your green detox drink, talk about what's in it, and leave it up to the consumers to decide whether it's useful for them? Why do we have to discriminate against the banana, Thomas? In considering the volume of contemporary literature on fructose, one conclusion stands clear. Fructose is safe at typical intake levels, but can produce adverse metabolic effects when abused, as is true of most nutrients. A banana is not bad for you. The inherent fructose in a banana is not poison to you. Should you eat 7 bananas a day? Well, maybe no. And you need to consider your caloric intake, your physical activity, your nutrient timing, your lean body mass. That's context. I'm James Linker. See you soon.